What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're coming at you live with two things. First, our Champions League reactions. I was obviously in Canada when this obviously went down, and guess what? I was snoozing at that time because I had to work and wasn't able to get up in time. So these are my reactions to it after my day job, and we're going to take a look at that, and we're also going to take a look at the game against Bremen. We're just going to take a look at Edin Terzić's first little roster here, and I want to see what he's going to do. I want to see your guys' opinion on what we've heard. So to jump right into the Champions League, and we're going to take a look at the draw, and clearly we got drawn with Sevilla. So from what I know about Sevilla, as I do obviously follow the league, as probably a lot of you guys do as well, that they are a pretty attacking team under Julian Lopetegui. He's really turned around that Sevilla team. They were obviously Europa League winners last year. They're not a team to be taken lightly by any stretch of the imagination. But for me, I'm relatively happy with the draw. There was three teams I pretty much wanted to get the chance to get drawn against, and it was Porto, it was Atalanta, and it was Sevilla. And again, nothing against Sevilla. I'm not saying that we're going to steamroll them. I think this is going to be a very, very tight and very close game. But I just felt like they'd be an interesting draw. I didn't really want to get the likes of Atletico, and even though Barca isn't in the best form in the world, I didn't really want to get Barca either. I just felt like this was the kind of matchup that we kind of needed, and I think it'd be a really good game. And again, from how Lopetegui plays in his Sevilla, they play in the 4-3-3, and honestly, they're a very attacking team. They like having the ball, they like going forward with it, and they're pretty straightforward. Some of their key players to keep an eye on is obviously Rakitic. He came back over from Barcelona back to Sevilla, where he was very successful, especially in the Europa League, as well as they have Lucas Ocampos, who a lot of you guys would be familiar with as well as De Jong, who will probably lead the line for them. And it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen there, especially obviously with the change in management, to see how we're tactically going to be able to look at them. But we're going to take a look over here on the screen. You guys see the draws, and I'm just going to quickly go through them and kind of tell you my quick reaction, and then settle a little bit on the Dortmund one. So the first draw here is Gladbach against Manchester City. I think that's going to be a pretty tough game for Gladbach. I mean, clearly City are the favorites, but Gladbach showed that they can upset anybody so far in the Champions League, especially with the result against Madrid. So it'll be pretty interesting to see that matchup. But I mean, if you're going to look for me, my immediate reaction, it's going to be that City's the favorites. Same as the Lazio and Bayern game. I don't think anyone here can, say any differently. Bayern are the clear favorites that will probably win that game as well. And then we have the Atletico and Chelsea game, which is definitely, I think, probably when you look at one of the juicier ties, just because I don't really know who to expect to be the favorites in there. I'd probably lean towards a little more Atletico just because they have the experience. I think Simeone is just a little bit better of a manager right now than Lampard is, but it's hard to tell. So, I mean, I'd probably go a little bit with Atletico on that one, but, I mean, let me know what you guys think. The Leipzig and Liverpool one, again, Liverpool, in my opinion, are probably one of the favorites of the Champions League, so I would go for them a little bit. And then the Porto-Juve, I think Juve are heavy favorites. The Barca-PSG one is going to be a good game, and I think Paris are probably the clear favorites, in my opinion. Barca's had a very topsy-turvy type season, so for me, immediately, I'm just thinking that Barca's probably going to get steamrolled in the round of 16 yet again. And then going over to our Madrid and Atalanta one, I believe Madrid are the favorites. However, Madrid have been a little bit inconsistent this season, while Atalanta has been relatively, honestly, lackluster. So it's kind of hard to say who's in the best form, but I'd still probably have to go with Madrid just because, again, this is their competition, even though I, by no stretch of the imagination, think they're the favorites. But the main event was us, and we drew Sevilla, and for me, I'm relatively happy with it. I'm excited to see how it goes. Two attack-minded football teams going at it, so I think it's a relatively kind draw for us, and I'm pretty excited to see how the game goes. I'd say we're slight favorites. I don't know, you guys can let me know if you guys agree with that or not, but I just have a feeling that even though Sevilla is probably in a little bit better form, even though they're not in excellent form in the Liga, then obviously we're not in the greatest form in the Bundesliga. But it does seem like a very, very tight tie to me, but I just have faith in the boys, and let's see if we can obviously get a little turnaround here after the sacking of Lucien Favre. So with that is our little reaction to the Champions League. Let me know what you guys think again in the comments, whether you chat now or just comment after, how you guys thought of it. Because for me, I think it's a good tie. I think it could have obviously went a lot worse in that portion. And honestly, between Sevilla, Atalanta, or Porto, it could have been any of them. I mean, I think they're all relatively around the same. So for me, I'm happy with it. I'm very looking forward to doing it and obviously covering the game, and hopefully we can get it with a result. But the big news, tomorrow, we're back in the Bundesliga and we're taking on Werder Bremen with a brand new manager. Edin Terzić is in, and he has obviously went and had a few things to say. And taking a look at it, I'm just going to read you guys some of the stuff that I actually found here, and then I'm going to give you my predicted lineup, the first ever predicted lineup under the new era here with Edin Terzić. So I'm going to read what he said, and he said that he's a product of Borussia Dortmund. I've always been a fan, and I'm from the region. I've always been working here for about 10 years now, and back and forth from different breaks, from different clubs, and I've shaped to what's happened in the club in the past. The fact is, quite simply, there are two ways you can win a football game. You can try to concede one goal or fewer from the opponent, or the way I prefer it, you're willing to outscore the opposition. So, from what that tells me, is that he's looking to stick with the roots. He's looking to bring us back to our glory days. He's worked with Thomas Tuchel, he's worked with Jurgen Klopp, he's seen the attack-minded football that we love to play, and he's clearly not going to be focusing on the defense. You guys heard me stress it enough that I really wanted to see Max Allegri come in. For the financial situation, it didn't work. I mean, he didn't fit our philosophy, but I was ready just to start from scratch and see what we could do with our defense here. But we're not. We're having someone who's got passion. I mean, if you see all the pictures going around on Instagram and Twitter, he's fired up. He's an emotional manager, and that's something that I love to see, especially in this Borussia Dortmund team. And he's talking about the roots. And you know what? Yes, I wanted to go defensively with the Max Allegri signing, which obviously did not happen. But yes, I mean, if we can get us going back and playing like we used to in our roots, that is absolutely sensational. Because I don't know what kind of football we were trying to play with Favre. It was kind of all over the place, and it wasn't fully attacking. He focused a little bit on defense and just kind of got lost in translation. So I'm pretty looking forward to this Bremen game tomorrow. We are doing a watch-along on it. Of course we are, and it's going to be a very, very fun one. But I'm going to give you my predicted lineup. And I'm going to explain to you why I believe it. So, after reading you guys what I read, I believe he's going to go with the 4-2-3-1 formation. The number one reason I think he's going to go through that is because he's talking about the golden era of Borussia Dortmund back when he was with Jurgen Klopp. The 4-2-3-1 was a custom. That's exactly how they played, as well as Slaven Bilic played it when he was obviously being an assistant with him throughout Besiktas and West Ham. So I just think naturally that's the one to go, on top of the fact that we've already played in the 4-2-3-1 system. So he just got to kind of tweak it his own kind of way, and obviously making it a little more attack-oriented and a little straightforward. Then looking at the starting 11, Berkey, I believe, is going to be in net. I mean, there's no reason not to think that Berkey will be in net. At our right back, right now with the options we have, he isn't on the best form, but I'm excited to see what he's going to do, and that is Marai. I think he's going to get a shot as playing as the right back. I don't think we've seen him too much at that actual right back position, and it may be Paslak, but just given on form and just the fact that Marai is a little more exciting, and we're obviously now attack-minded, I think it's going to be him. With our center backs, familiar faces, Akanji, Hummels, I believe that's what it's going to be. There's no reason to think that that's not how it is. And then obviously on the left, we're going to have Guerrero. Looking at our center defensive mids, I think he's going to put Debut in. I don't know why. I think Debut's got a lot of rest of late, and I think he's obviously been one of our best players. And I think it's just his time to come in. And I believe Witsel will probably stay beside him. I think Witzel's had a good game, and I mean, he's had his form relatively well. But for the most part, I think he's going to be in. It may be Chan, but I just have a feeling that it's going to be Witsel alongside Debut with the front four, with Marco Reus as our center attacking mid, Jadon Sancho on the right, Gio Reyna on the left, and then I believe Moukoko is going to start up front. He's talked about Moukoko a few times and saying that he wants to give him an opportunity. He's worked with him in the past, so I think it's a real opportunity to give the kid his first start. Hopefully we get a reaction from sacking Favre, which we absolutely need to even justify it and to get our Bundesliga back on track. So that's the kind of attacking little lineup I'm picturing in my head. I don't obviously know. I don't have any input exactly how it's going to be, but I believe the 4-2-3-1 is going to be kind of his bread and butter going forward, and I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow, and I really hope you guys can join me on the watch along, because I can't wait to hopefully see the big smile on his face, the energy, and how much this win would mean to him. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, comes the end of our little live stream here. I just wanted to get this out for you to obviously let you know my reactions on the Champions League draw, which I'm pretty happy with, and as well as my predicted lineup, because I'm very excited to see how Edin Terzic's first game is going to do, and I'm very curious to see if I was anywhere near what the actual lineup will be. So with that, guys, if you haven't noticed, we are getting very, very, very close to 1,000 subscribers, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a few pretty special episodes coming up for you guys, so thank you so much for all the support, you guys. It means the absolute world. We keep growing, and it's simply because you guys are obviously enjoying the content and support. So if you are new around here, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.